Continue with chapter number 7 from your history book of grade 7, and the name of the chapter is Rise of Vijayanagar and the Bahamani Kingdom. And this is the last part. Today we're going to study the Bahamani Kingdom. The Bahamani Kingdom was established by Alauddin Hassan, an official of the Delhi Sultanate. During the reign of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he ascended the throne under the title of Alauddin Bahman Shah in 1347 CE. The Bahmani kingdom of the Deccan was the most powerful of all the independent Muslim kingdoms that rose from the ashes of the Delhi Sultanate. It stretched from Arabian Sea in the west to the Bay of Bengal in the east. It included the whole of northern Deccan, with the river Krishna as the southern boundary. The kingdom lasted for about 2 centuries, that means 200 years, and was ruled by 18 Bahmani kings. It was often rocked by political turmoil, that means political unstable, or you can say there were political problems, okay, turmoil and murderers. The political history of the Bahmani kingdom revolves around the wars fought with the neighboring states of Warangal, Gujarat, Malwa, and Vijayanagar. The Raichur Doab was a very fertile. Doab is a usually doabs be very fertile. Fertile means where the crops grow very easily or very fast. Okay, area that lie between the rivers Krishna. This was an area. Doab is an area where you can say the piece of land which is very fertile lies between the river, and it was this Rashur Doab was between the river Krishna, and river Tungabhadra. River Krishna, the southern boundary of the Bahmani kingdom, and the river Tungabhadra, the northern boundary of the Vijayanagara kingdom. The Raichur Doab became a battlefield for a prolonged struggle between these two kingdoms. So you can understand that often the Vijayanagar kingdom and the Bahmani kingdom were fighting for this Doab area. The Raichur became the battleground of the prolonged struggle between these two kingdoms, as it was a rich source of revenue because their cultivation could be done very efficiently and very easily. So both the kingdoms were fighting to get that piece of land. It changed hands constantly. That means sometimes Bahmani kingdom used to win, sometimes the Vijayanagar kingdom used to win. So this Doab area was continuously changing its ownership. Right? Who is going to be its owner? It was continuously changing. The conflict continued even after the Bahmani kingdom was split into 5 separate kingdoms. Okay, Bahmani kingdom now became separated or got broken into 5 separate kingdoms. The issue was finally resolved when the kingdom of Vijayanagar was decisively defeated in the Battle of Talikota in 1565. So, in the Battle of Talikota, when the Vijayanagar kingdom got defeated, that time already this Doab area was given to the Bahmani kingdom. Muhammad Gawan. Muhammad Gawan, the Bahmani kingdom reached the height of its power under the leadership of Muhammad Gawan, and he is the distinguished wazir of Muhammad Shah III. Muhammad Gawan was a competent and successful general. He greatly extended the boundaries of the kingdom and recaptured the important port of Goa from the Vijayanagar kingdom. Muhammad Gawan was a capable administrator. Under his leadership, agriculture was encouraged and promoted. As a result, the kingdom became economically prosperous, means developed. Economically, they started developing more. Muhammad Gawan was a learned man. He was an educated person. Okay, and he always told the common people to go for education. He built a madrasa or college in the capital city of Bidar and donated his private collection of 3,000 books to it. He gave scholarship to poor and deserving students. Muhammad Gawan led a Spartan lifestyle. He slept on a mat, ate out of earthen vessels, and used his wealth to help the poor and the needy. So he was having a very simple and helpful kind of a down to earth kind of a person, and he was leading a very simple life. A chronic problem faced by the Bahmani kingdom was the conflict between the Decani and the local nobles and the paradise or foreign nobles. Gavan was regarded as the paradise. So he was the common people were not thinking that he belongs to our place. He's from the foreign. He's a foreigner who have came here. Okay, so there was a problem between the local nobles and the foreign nobles. The Decani nobles conspired against him. That means they started planning against him. And he was beheaded on the orders of the Sultan. The death of Gavan and signaled the end of the Bahmani kingdom. Okay, as he was sentenced to death, then the end of Bahmani kingdom began. After Gawan's death, the affairs of the Bahmani kingdom passed into the hands of a Deccan nobles, and by 1527 the kingdom had disintegrated into 5 independent kingdoms, namely Berar, Bijapur, Bidar, Ahmadnagar, and Golconda. Okay, with the death of Muhammad Gawan, there was a split in the kingdom into 5 parts. The 5 kingdoms were constantly at war with one another, but united briefly to defeat the Vijayanagar kingdom in the Battle of Talikota. Can you understand what is the meaning of this? This means that already this Bahmani kingdom got divided into 5 kingdoms, independent kingdoms, but these 5 independent kingdoms were fighting against Vijayanagar kingdom. They themselves were fighting with each other. These 5 kingdoms were fighting against each other, and they got together to fight with Vijayanagar kingdom in the Battle of Talikota. The sun had set on the once powerful Bahmani kingdom. That means Bahmani kingdom also came to an end. What are the achievements of the Bahmani kingdom? They are also having some administrative sector we need to know. In theory, the king was all powerful, but in practice, the autocratic and the absolute authority of the king depended on the strength of the army. Weak sultans were controlled by the ulemas and powerful nobles. For efficient, or you can say effective administration, the kingdom was divided into provinces once again and ruled by the governors appointed by the sultan. The governors collected revenue, a part of which was paid to sultan. They also supplied him a fixed number of troops in times of war. These provincial governors were very powerful. The kingdom was very prosperous, but there was great disparity of wealth between the nobles and the peasants. The Bahmani rulers patronized Islam. Many beautiful mosques were built in the capital cities of Gulbarga and Bidar. Madrasas and libraries were set up to promote Islamic studies. Persian and Arabic were used as court languages. The Bahmani kings were great builders. The Jami Masjid at Gulbarga is a splendid building of their time. The places and forts of Faizabad and the Chand Minar at Bidar are superb architecture. The successors of Bahmani ruler were also great builders. The most outstanding building built by them is the Gol Gumbaz at Bijapur and tomb of Adil Shah in Bijapur. The structure of the building is the form of cube. Okay, it's a cube, but there is a large dome at the top to balance this cube. And usually they used to have minarets in the corner, minarets or minarets in the corner, or you can say towers in the corner made of stone in order to give balance to the building. Okay, usually these buildings used to have great height, something like 44. They are saying the diameter. Okay, external diameter used to be 44. Round dome became a very popular kind of architecture of that time. So, exhausted by their mutual rivalries, they became soft targets for the powerful Mughal emperors of the north. Hopefully, you understood the chapter. Thank you.